Aspiration number 5 is all about the fiduciary and accountability, where the fiduciary refers to the duty of conduct of individual or groups of people who are entrusted and delegated with power to look after, manage, safeguard the interests of others, and grounded from the concept of trust and amanah. I would say that the fiduciary and accountability in Sharia actually is more higher than the fiduciary accountability from what we understand today. As far as I'm concerned, our fiduciary accountability normally stop at the certain level. For example, at the organizational level. And we are not touching the private space of it. I think private space cannot be touched because it's a private life. You cannot touch it at all. But in Islam, fiduciary accountability is not just touch your private life, but because it also affected your hereafter. You bring it all the fiduciary accountability not in this world, but you bring it in front of God in the hereafter later. So that is why I'm not saying that we should touch the private space, but I think one of the good things about the Sharia advisors fraternity is that Sharia advisors have the duty and responsibility to make sure that you are always in fit and proper with the good akhlaq and values, which is touching your private life, which is not happen, I believe, in the current financial system, because they try to separate between the responsibility, fiduciary, and accountability of organizations and your private life. So this is something different that we want to put on, where the fiduciary accountability in Islam is more higher. And if we can embed element of ethics in the fiduciary and accountability is part of our aspiration. That's why Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, where we are coming from this aspiration is that when Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمُ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. Don't entrust incapable among your dependents with your wealth, which Allah has made a means support for you. وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ. Why Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentioned to sufaha amwalakum, your wealth. It's not their wealth. Don't give and trust and the incapable on your wealth. Meaning to say that Allah entrusts us to safeguard the orphan wealth and make it just like your wealth. That's why Allah mentioned lakum, not lahum, in this verse, meaning to say that the accountability and the fiduciary actually is more compared to what we understand today. And under this aspiration, we want to put two principles. Number one is upholding the fiduciary with utmost good faith, aims to highlight the obligation of a fiduciary to act in the best interest of clients and beneficiaries by ensuring the duties are not exercised diligently and providing responsible stewardship of the assets or responsibilities entrusted to them with utmost good faith. Somehow, we cannot say that, yes, you entrust with the people, but the lack of information, the lack of data is everywhere, right? Yes, you're still safeguard, but in terms of information, you are leaking out. How we want to uphold the fiduciary duty personally as, for example, if you're entrusted to be the board of directors, for example, to be the Sharia advisors, for example, in this particular space. And the principle number 12 is promoting the accountability in performance and activities, where pertains the responsibility in actions, the outcomes of organization, its product and supply chain, which requires the entrusted person to act in a manner that can be justified, evaluated, and assessed by the relevant stakeholders. Again, the principles number 12 is to promote the accountability of the performance and activities. For example, currently, Islamic capital market product, only we are looking into the Sharia compliance status of it at the initial stage of it, at the issuance stage. When we issue, it is Sharia compliant. To what extent we take a look until the maturity of the contract? What is the responsibility? Currently, it's the responsibility of the Sharia advisors, but the reporting actually is not been done. And we just know the status of the product Sharia compliant at the issuance or at the approval stage. So anything that that the organizations or the principal advisors do, for example, to give the report that the issuer says that this product is still remain as a Sharia compliant status. Frequent reporting or annual reporting actually is one of the actions can be done to make sure that they can promote the accountability in performance and activity. So this is the aspiration related to the fiduciary and accountability. We are looking into more what we call it actions and policies related to make sure that we can serve and justify and manifest this kind of aspiration.